Good morning, students. Today we are going to start class 9 physics. Our first chapter of physics in class 9 is chapter 8 motion. Today we will discuss reference point, rest, motion, types of motion, physical quantity, types of physical quantities, distance and displacement. Our first topic is reference point. If you put something anywhere, then can you describe the position of this? The answer is no. We cannot describe the position of any object without any fixed point. There is no fixed point, so we cannot describe the position. If we have a fixed point here, then we can describe the position of this with the help of this fixed point. So this fixed point is known as reference point or origin. So we can define the reference point as a fixed point in surroundings that describes the position of any object is known as reference point or origin. Now our next topic is rest and motion. There is a train and this train is in motion. The passengers sitting inside the train are also in motion with respect to these passengers who are sitting outside the train. But the passengers sitting inside the train are at rest with respect to each other. Why they are at rest? Because they are not changing their positions with respect to each other. If they are changing the position with respect to each other, then they are in motion. If they are not changing the position with respect to each other, then they are at rest. So we can define the rest. An object is said to be at rest if it does not change its position with time with respect to reference point. And motion we can define as an object is said to be in motion if it changes its position with time with respect to reference point. Now, rest and motion both are relative terms, or we can say that rest and motion both are related to each other or depends on the reference point. Like as we will take the same example again. Here is a train and train is in motion. The passengers sitting inside the train are in motion with respect to the passengers who are outside the train. But the passengers are at rest with respect to each other who are sitting inside the train. So the motion and the rest both are depend upon the reference point, where we are taking the reference point. If the reference point is outside the train, then passengers are in motion, and if the reference point inside the train, then the passengers are at rest. Now we will take another example. If we are at home and we are sleeping, then we are at rest. Or if we are sitting in a chair, then we are at rest. But we are at rest with respect to the building near us or with respect to the earth. As we all know that we are on earth and earth is revolving around its axis as well as around the sun, so that we can say that we are at rest with respect to the surroundings like building, tree, but we are in motion with respect to the sun or any other planet. We are also in motion. Now we will discuss about the types of the motion. Here is a car and this car is moving. along a straight road. If an object is moving along a straight line, then its motion is known as linear motion. Here is a spinner, and this spinner is revolving around a fixed point. Another example, here is a fan, and the blades of fan are revolving around this fixed point. So that these types of motion are known as circular motion. We can define the circular motion as if the object revolves around a fixed point or rotates around a fixed axis, then its motion is known as circular motion. Another type of motion you can see here is a pendulum in the clock, and this clock pendulum is moving here and there about its mean position. This type of motion is known as vibratory motion. We can define the vibratory motion as if the object executes to and fro motion about a fixed point, then its motion is called vibratory motion. The fixed position about which the object moves here and there is known as mean position, and the corner point to which the object moves from the mean position in one side is known as extreme points or extreme positions. Now we will come to the physical quantities. If someone asks you what is your height, you can measure it with the help of a scale, and you can tell what would be your height. If someone asks you what is the area of this rectangle, then we will measure the length and breadth, and then we can find the area. If someone asks what is the temperature of your body, then we can measure the temperature with the help of a thermometer. If someone asks what is the volume of this box, then we can measure the length, breadth and height of the box, and then we can find the volume of the box. If two persons, one is pushing the box and another is pulling the box, then we can measure how much force is acting on the box. So these all quantities are known as physical quantities. If we are measuring our height, we can measure it in any direction. We can measure the height from top to bottom or bottom to top. It would be same. When we measure the height, we got 1.2 meter. The height may be different for different persons. Here 1.2. What is 1.2 is here. 1.2 is the numerical value of the height, and this is known as magnitude. And what is meter? Meter is the SI unit in which we are measuring the height. It may be change, unit may be change. We can measure it in feet, we can measure it in other units also. If we measure the area of the rectangle, then it would be 8 square meter. Here 8 is the numerical value, and this numerical value is known as magnitude. Square meter, again the SI unit. This thermometer shows the temperature 98.6 degree F. 98.6 is the numerical value, and this is known as magnitude, and degree F is the unit in which we are measuring the temperature. The volume of this box is 24 cubic meter. Again 24 is the numerical value, and this is known as magnitude, and cubic meter is the unit, SI unit. Here is a box. One boy is pushing the box in left direction and another is pulling the box in left direction. Then how much force is working on the box? There is 10 Newton force towards left. What is 10 here? 10 is magnitude, Newton is the SI unit, and towards left is the direction. Whenever we apply a force on a body, then we must need a direction. In which direction the force is acting on the body. So we can say that some quantities need the direction to describe them, and some other do not need the directions. The quantities which have only magnitude and do not have the direction are known as scalar quantities. For example, length, area, volume, temperature, time, mass, distance, speed, etc. The vector quantities, it is a physical quantity that has magnitude as well as the direction. For example, force, displacement, velocity, acceleration, etc. Now we will come to the differences between scalar quantities and vector quantities. As we have discussed, scalar quantities has only magnitude, but vector quantities has magnitude as well as the direction. We can change the scalar quantity by changing the magnitude only, but vector quantities changes with magnitude or with direction or both. Next topic is distance. There is a building and this is a point. We want to move from this point to the building. There are two ways to go to the building. One is red, another is blue. We can choose any way. If we choose red path, then the length of traveled path will be different from the length of traveled path if we choose blue path. So length of path depends upon the path which we choose. This length of path from the initial to final position is known as distance. When we choose any path, we change the direction of motion many times. As along the red path, we change the direction of motion many times, and same as along the blue path. So distance has no direction. We can say that distance is a scalar quantity. Since distance is the length of path, so its SI unit is meter. We can measure the distance traveled by a body with the help of a device which is known as odometer. We can see this odometer in our cars, bikes or any other automobile near to the speedometer. It shows the total distance traveled by our car, bike and any other automobile. Next topic is displacement. As we know, there are two paths to go to the building. We also can find the shortest path. To find the shortest path, we find a straight path in a particular direction. The direction of the path must be towards the final position. If we choose any other direction, then it would not be the shortest. And this shortest path is known as displacement. As we have discussed, it has a particular direction, so displacement is a vector quantity. We can measure the length of the shortest path also in meters, so the SI unit of displacement is meter. Now we will discuss some other conditions. There are 3 points O, A and B. A body is at O, it starts motion from O to A. When it reaches at A, its distance is equal to OA and displacement is also OA. Since body moves along a straight line in one direction, that is O to A, so distance and displacement are same. Now body moves towards O and reaches at O. Since body covers the same distance, that is OA, 2 times, so its distance is OA plus OA equals to 2OA. And what would be its displacement? Here body is at O. We know that body starts motion from O, means the initial and the final position of the body are same. So the shortest distance between O and O is 0. So its displacement is 0. We can say that the displacement of a body may be 0 if its initial and final positions are same. Now body moves towards B. Final position of the body is B now. So distance is OA plus OA plus OB, that is equals to 2OA plus OB, and displacement, the initial position of the body was O and the final position of the body is B, so that the shortest distance between initial and final position is OB. So its displacement would be OB and it would be negative. Why it is negative? As we know that the initial position of the body was O and it starts motion towards A, and final position is B, which is in opposite direction of the direction of starting motion, so that it is negative. Now we will write the differences between distance and displacement. The first difference is the definition of distance and displacement. The distance is the length of actual path traveled by a body from initial to final position, and the displacement is the shortest distance between the initial and final positions of a moving body. As distance do not have any direction, so distance is a scalar quantity. Displacement has a direction, so it is a vector quantity. As we have discussed, distance is always positive and can't be 0 for a moving body, but displacement may be 0, positive or negative. Distance depends on the path followed by the body, but displacement does not depend upon the path followed by the body. In next video, we will discuss uniform motion, non-uniform motion, speed, velocity and acceleration.